Hello everyone, I am Kiran Joshi. Hope you all are doing well. Children, this is the second video of class 7 history chapter 5 rulers and buildings. In the first video of this chapter, we learnt about the construction technologies and styles between 8th and 18th centuries. We also learnt the temple construction in the early 11th century with the examples of two famous temples of that time. Children, the rulers during the medieval period constructed beautiful temples and mosques as they were the places of worship. These places of worship were also very effective and significant to demonstrate the authority, power, and wealth and devotion of the ruler. To understand this, let's take an example of the Rajrajeshwara temple. We have already learnt that this temple had the tallest shikhar amongst the other temples of this time. In an inscription, it is mentioned that the Rajarajeshwara temple was built by King Rajarajadeva as he was a worshipper of God Rajarajeshwaram. Children, you must have noticed the similarity between the names of the king and his god. The reasons behind keeping his name after the name of the god were: one, it was an auspicious name, and second, the king wanted to project himself as a god for his people or for his subjects. When the king worshipped the god in the temple, it was like one god, King Rajrajadeva, honored another god, Rajrajeshwaram. During this period, all the largest temples with chief deity were built by the rulers or the kings. There were other lesser deities in the temple. These were the gods and goddesses of the allies and subordinates of the ruler. In a way, a miniature model of the world ruled by the king and his allies was projected through the temple. When the king and his allies worshipped here in this temple, their deities together in the royal temple, these were called the royal temples. It was like the just rule of the gods that they had brought on the earth. In this way, many Hindu rulers projected themselves as the incarnation of God. Children, incarnation means embodiment of a god or a deity in human form. So, but Muslim rulers, sultans and padshahs, though they didn't claim to be incarnation of God, the Persian court chronicles described the sultan as the shadow of God. It is mentioned in an inscription in Quwwatul Islam Mosque that Alauddin Khalji was chosen by God to become king because he had the qualities of Moses and Solomon. Children, Moses and Solomon were the lawgivers of the past, laws regarding every sphere of life. Actual architect and greatest lawgiver was God himself. He created the word and brought or introduced an order and symmetry in the word. In every new dynasties, the kings tried to show that it was their moral right to become rulers or kings. By building the mosques and temples, they could get the opportunity of showing their close relationship with God. As this was a time when lot of political changes, the intimate relation of the ruler with the God was of great importance. Rulers also supported many learned and religious people by offering their patronage to them. By doing this, they wanted to convert their capitals and cities into large cultural centers, and these cultural centers would bring popularity and reputation to their rule and their kingdom. Generally, it was believed that if the ruler was just and fair, his realm would be prosperous. There would be no shortage of rain. Good rain meant good yield. Good yield meant prosperity, and thus the kingdom would be flourishing. Water has been an important resource since the ancient time. Therefore, rulers also constructed water tanks and reservoirs to provide this precious resource of water, and through this way they earned great praise of the people for themselves. For example, Sultan Iltutmish, he constructed a large reservoir outside Delhi Kuhna and was appreciated and respected all around for this act. Uh, Reservoir that he built was called Hoji Sultani, means the king's reservoir. Often the tanks and reservoirs, some big tanks, some small, were constructed by the rulers so that the ordinary people could use the water for their various purposes. There are examples that sometimes the rulers constructed the tanks and reservoirs as a part of a temple, mosque, or a gurudwara. For example, a small tank in the Jami Masjid, as it is visible in the picture, the tank Sarovar surrounding the Golden Temple in Amritsar is another good example in this regard. We know that the temples were the way of demonstrating rulers' devotion to God and showing off their power and wealth. Therefore, whenever they attacked one another's kingdoms, these temples were the main target. For example, in the early 9th century, the Pandyan king Srimara Srivallabh invaded Sri Lanka and defeated the king Sena I. The Buddhist monk who was a chronicler, Dhammakiti, wrote about this invasion that Srimara Sri Vallabha removed all valuables. The statue of Buddha, which was made entirely of gold, the golden images in the various monasteries, he seized them all. This was a big blow or attack to the pride of the Sinhalese rulers, which had to be avenged. So the next Sinhalese ruler, Sena II, ordered his general to invade Madurai, which was the capital of the Pandyas. But the Buddhist chronicler Dhammakiti mentioned that in this expedition special efforts were made to find and restore the gold statue of Buddha that was earlier seized from Sri Lanka. Another example in for this is from the early 11th century when the Chola king Rajendra I constructed a Shiva temple in his capital. He placed many statues which were seized from the defeated rulers. These statues included a sun pedestal from the Chalukyas, a Ganesha statue, and several statues of Durga, a Nandi statue from the eastern Chalukyas, and image of Bhairava and Bhairavi from the Kalingas of Odisha. Bhairava means a form of Lord Shiva, and a Kali statue from the Palas of Bengal, and many more. Let's talk about Sultan Mahmud of Ghazni, a contemporary ruler of Rajendra I. Children, contemporary means living or existing during the same period of time. You have learnt about Sultan Mahmud of Ghazni, Afghanistan, in the second chapter of history, that he raided the subcontinent almost every year. During his campaigns in the subcontinent, he attacked the temples of the kings whom he defeated and looted the wealth and statues from the temples. He was not a very important ruler at that time, but he destroyed many temples, especially the one at Somnath temple of Gujarat. By doing so, he tried to exhibit himself as a great hero of Islam. Thus, we can summarize that attacking and looting the places of worship of defeated rulers became a political culture followed by many rulers. During the medieval period, through which they tried to exhibit their political power and military success. That's all for this video. Now there are some questions for revision. So the first question is, why were the temples and mosques beautifully constructed? Second, what did the royal temples signify? Third, what did the rulers do to get praise and respect of the people? Fourth, why were the temples destructed by the invaders? If you liked this video and wish to watch more of such content, do consider subscribing to the channel. Also, if you have any queries and comment, please post them in the comment section below. Thank you.